Oh! Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. Welcome to another Anomalous broadcast from Site 42, this one being a field mission with Dr. Sherman. Scarlet Fox, Devil Alki, Drowsy, Agent Starbricks, Senior Researcher Frogman. Good to see you in the stream. Thank you for being members. Josh, Joey Smith, the UIU agent. Lol Mira, Mavi, good to see you in the chat just for being you. And Desk, reporting for duty as always. Good to see you, everyone. Now, in case you're new, this is once again Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site 42. While I am in the field, I'm still the boss, so I'm still running things, just from afar. And even though I'm in the field, when I have a down moment, when I have an opportunity, I still take the time, as any good site director would, to educate you about the ins and outs of working for the SCP Foundation. Whether that is the groups of interest that we battle on a daily basis, whether it's the anomalies we secure, contain, and protect, whether it's the illustrious researchers who do said containing, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that may or may not be in the Foundation's pataphysical narrative level or multiverse, i.e. fandom. And so, good to see you all in the chat. We are here for another short stream while I'm in the field. Greetings, Doctor. I know it's been a few days, but glad to see you survived. Edward, first of all, thank you for being a member. And secondly, me too. It's been a rough couple of weeks in the field, but I think I may be out of trouble if I can pull off this one last heist. So, in case you haven't been keeping up with the VODs, there was a breach of containment. The 1048s attacked the safe house that I was at. I was rescued by a deal that I held with a certain anomalous associate of mine. Meeting that associate's intermediary, I was given the task of delivering a message in return for my safe passage that evening. Now, this message, I don't know who I'm delivering it to. All I know is a time, which is soon, and a place, which is I'm supposed to be in this room. Now, from there, I just have to wait until I hear a knock on the door. Now, once I hear that knock on the door, then this message is in their hands. I should be good to go. Now, you think a message, that's not a big task. I was supposed to be back at Site 42 by now. I have had to go off the grid. My accounts have been shut down because the Foundation is looking for me. Now, I am not a traitor. I have never been a traitor. I have never done anything against the mission of the Foundation. But when you owe a guy, or when you owe not a guy, you owe not a guy. Some deals have to be kept, lest you suffer the consequences for that. But don't worry, once I deliver this little message, I'll be back at Site 42. Everything will be explained and fine. I just gotta finish this one thing. Please remember that when I'm in the field, donations less than $5 don't show up on the main menu of my chat, so I have to go to a separate menu. It's not that you can't donate less than $5, it's just that I might not see it immediately. Let me know if you do, and if I miss it. Zerdrin, 2 years as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. Congratulations on your long-term membership and service at the Foundation. Cheers, Doctor. Vodka for all. Well, here. I will have a celebratory beverage after I am done with this mission. Silent Follower, thank you for your Corgi donation. Your first donation of today's stream, get yourself some biscotti on your way past the commissary. Agent Starbricks, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a colcovino on your way past the commissary. What is your opinion on the Red Right Hand? Well, they're a very useful mobile task force. I'm not familiar with a lot of their in-depth mission reports, but as far as I know, they're a highly effective force, and what else do you want from a mobile task force of the Foundation? Seems great to me. Dr. Sherman, I have bad news. 096 escaped again. Intern dude, 096 is in his containment cell. I saw that just on the screen before I started the stream. I was checking the security breaches since everyone and their mother and their anomalous father got out last night, or the night of the breach. So, no, we're cleaning it up. It's fine. Yes, it did get out, but it's back. It's back in. We're fine for now. Short stream today or no? Like maybe an hour. Drowsy, if I were to guess, I would estimate probably going to be in the 30 to 45 minute range, but it really depends on my associate who I'm meeting here to deliver this message. So it could be a little higher, could be a little lower. We will see what happens. The expected stream end time is going to be somewhere around 7:30-ish. We're not exactly sure. What do you think the message is? I think it's a love letter because that would be funny. Intern silly boy, that would be very strange for the associate that I am delivering this message on behalf of, but then again, I don't know who I'm delivering it to. Maybe there is a warm, fiery, passionate message of love between Anomaly and Anomaly inside this message, but we're not allowed to check it. Did you ever eat food from SCP-5031? Intern Pellin, yes, in fact I have. And ever since SCP-5031's, we should say rehabilitation, it's partially rehabilitation because part of it was our fault that it was contained in such heinous conditions. Yeah, we used to be a lot colder and crueler back in the day. But now that 5031 is rehabilitated and plays lovely piano concertos and cooks Michelin star meals, we let 5031 tour the SCP facilities on circuit and provide dinner and entertainment to the troops for morale. So last time 5031 came to Site 42, you know I took the evening off to go enjoy the show and the meal. That night, I had a 35-inch 1881 Hereford Heritage ribeye with black truffle butter. Medium rare. Perfection. Couldn't be better. The appetizers were mozzarella cheese imported from Italy. It was made the day before. We had that mozzarella, it has to be flown from Italy within 24 hours for 5031 to properly utilize it in the recipe. Mwah. It was so good. And then to top it all off, we had a delightful Nutella espresso cheesecake. C'est magnifique. Hey there, Dr. Sherm. Have you caught up on Find Us Alive yet? Just finished the latest episode. It's getting wild. I did see that the illustrious Radiger, hero of the SCP Foundation community, the best podcaster we have, dropped another episode today. I do need to see it, but I need to see it in order because I'm still back in the early first 10 episodes. I really need to get on that so I can also react to them. That way I can get more people to go check out the frickin' Find Us Alive podcast because it's incredible. All hail Radiger and her strong and terrible power. You sound like MatPat. That was the last line in Radiger roasting me. It's also something I hear very often. It's the theater kid energy. Don't let it distract you. I do not get that hyped up over theories and lore. All right, let's not lie. If it's related to SCPs, I do get very worked up about theories and or lore. But still not MatPat. Erica, Media, Henny, Jamie, and Shenanigans Finder. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. You are making me hungry. Listen, Alki, I can't help that 5031 is a splendiferous cook. I mean, I didn't train it. That was all the success of that particular staff. If you read the 5031 document, then you will know how good a job they did. Wait, I have to beg for funding, yet we can throw money at 5031 to make fancy meals? Yes. Justify your projects better. What happens if SCP-999 looks at SCP-096? Intern Sonoyo, 999 doesn't have eyeballs, at least in most universes. And so it can't see 096's face. Therefore, 096 doesn't care about it. Chicken Nugget, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. We all love lore here. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment of the Site 42 chat. The Containment Hazard Assessment Team, if you're not familiar with our euphemisms. Have there ever been any time machines the Foundation ever picked up? Huh. I would not be shocked. That does seem like something we would have in our containment files. I'm going to go into the database search real quick and I'm just going to search time machine. Well, what happens if I search time machine in here? Will we get a bite? I would not be shocked if we got a bite. Time machine. Boom. Time Crime in Greater Wisconsin, a primer, is a tale on the Foundation wiki. Time Machine is a tale. SCP-3658 is the Time Walker. SCP-6628 is called Sometime Apart, and it functioned as an uncontrollable time machine. And of course, Dr. Sumerian does in fact have a time machine which he and several researchers used to go back and try and kill Hitler. I forget the story of that tale. I think it's literally the time we all went back in time to try and kill Hitler. So, yes, the Foundation has an assortment of time machines for your time travel needs. SCP-049, thank you for your first 2 donations in a row to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some escargot on your way past the commissary. I know you're French and you like that kind of thing. I have escaped slightly. What have you escaped slightly? I need more information. How concerned should I be for the staff of Site 42 right now? Desk. Was that supposed to be Dr. Sumerian is not allowed to go back in time and kill Hitler? Or was that Dr. Sumerian is now allowed to go back in time and kill Hitler? Was that a typo? I need to know. Because I need to know if Dr. Sumerian is or is not allowed. Is Dr. Sumerian not allowed, or is Dr. Sumerian now allowed or not allowed? Okay, not allowed. Thank you. That's what I thought. After they did that, they banned the use of the time machine for going back to kill Hitler, at least for Dr. Sumerian. Kronos, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a smash burger on your way past the commissary. Hey, Doc, loving the hair. Much obliged. The purple faded out very quickly, but we still have plenty of blue, and I think it's a nice accent. It's 2 a.m. The nightmare of a work shift I had is really messing with my head. Could you authorize 10 minutes with 999 for me? Kronos, you don't have to tell me twice. I will authorize. I will rubber stamp that so quick. I have been on airplanes making flights connecting since 3:30 this morning. I am exhausted. But, as I told you, I have to finish. I have to deliver this message, and then I'm off the hook. So we just have to wait until the subject arrives so I may go to bed. Be free. 049, thank you for donating again. You should be very concerned. Smiley face. Listen, I am too sleep deprived to deal with your BS right now, 049. What I need you to do is get back in your cell before I take away the rest of your privileges. We had a nice deal going with the Mobile Task Force, but if you are breaching rules that we have laid down, then, ooh, are we going to have trouble? Will the character Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, be contained or hired as scientist staff but can't leave? So when it comes to the Reed would end up on staff. I mean, we have plenty of anomalous scientists. Reed is one of those smartest man in the world types, which would make it at least in the top tier of intelligence of SCP researchers. So, depending on the multiverse you're in, anyways. So yes, we would end up hiring Reed, and if Reed refused, then we would freeze it with in order to stop it from stretching, and that would be the end of that. Dr. Sherman, what are your thoughts on SCP-5000 and its lore? Well, intern Nightlight, the SCP-5000, the first time I read it was during the contest when it was first posted, and it was a hell of a good time. It was a fun romp. Meanwhile, I have not played SCP-5K, the game, which is using a lot of the SCP-5000 lore and expanding upon it. So I don't know that side of the lore yet, but I am doing a lot of research into the Global Occult Coalition because of their involvement in that game's scenario. So I am learning more as I go, but for instance, one thing I did not know before doing the study is that SCP-5000 is the first appearance of Ganzir. Ganzir didn't exist before SCP-5000, but because the way they portrayed it, everyone thinks it's like a deep lore thing. It's not a deep lore thing. It's just a single thing that they pitched, and woo, did everyone think it was super cool. You'll love to see it. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. I am in a tree. Are you trying to make SCP-4521 scream? Because if you did, while I would approve of that, you shouldn't hollow out the tree to do that. That will cause the tree to die, which means we can no longer test on it. Please say that you haven't hollowed out SCP-4521. I will be very cross and I will be forced to incur further penalties. Dr. Sherman, are you currently stuck in SCP-7819? To my knowledge, I am not stuck inside of any SCP. I should be in a standard non-anomalous hotel. Now, I don't know why an anomaly would ask me to meet an anomalous cohort at a civilian hotel. I find that extremely sus, as the youth researchers are to say. But I can't really argue in this scenario, so I just have to grin, bear it, and get by and get out as fast as I can. And, you know, I've got some amnestics on hand if any civilians get involved, so I will take care of that. Is relationships between SCPs and scientists allowed, like friends and stuff like that? Intern Sans, we do not fraternize with the anomalies. They are objects, not people. Do not befriend anomalies. Do not date anomalies. Do not... You get the point. Someone should make a Site-42 video game. Well, intern Easton, what would a Site-42 video game be about? What format of SCP, or specifically Site-42 game, are you considering? I'm interested in your pitch. Kronos, thank you for donating again. Doc, how would you go about containing pandemonium from pressure? Living corpse, incredible sight, able to break open solid metal lockers. Have fun. Well, a metal locker and a inches thick security door are very different animals. So I'm not too worried about some sort of living corpse making it through a heavy security door. A locker is not a very good security measure at all, and I blame that organization for being so lax in their security measures. O49, thank you for donating again. Fine, I'll walk back to my cell. Very good, thank you. A Site-42 video game is called Doki Doki Anomaly. Desk. Doki Doki Anomaly is on Steam. I am featured in it. I wouldn't consider it fully a Site-42 game, but Dr. Theron Sherman is present in the game. So there is that. And beyond, don't date the anomalies, even though it is an SCP dating sim. Reminder, even in that game, I'm not dateable. Hashtag annoyed in asexual at you even thinking about it. Witterly, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a yogurt on your way past the commissary. There's an SCP dating sim. Drowsy, yes, it's called Doki Doki Anomaly. It's a short game. It was made by a friend of the channel. And at one point on Twitch, Radiger, Tash, and a couple other people on the Find Us Alive Hodgepodge audio crew did a playthrough voice acting it. I don't know if there is any recording of that stream, but they did successfully play the game and voice act it. So that seems pretty funny. I guess I'll look it up. Love your videos though. Well, thank you, Cedar. I appreciate the support for the channel. Am I in Doki Doki Anomaly? SCP-049, thank you for donating again, and you are not. I know it features SCP-173, the Sculpture, SCP-096, the Shy Guy, and SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile, as the dateable anomalies. Ugh. And by the way, in that game, it's not a very good idea to date the anomalies. They near universally kill you. So, as I always say, don't fraternize with the anomalies. Dimitri Tavron, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a plate of lightly fried fish fillets on your way past the commissary. I found an anomaly who claims to be omnipotent and all-knowing. Should I add them to the database so the O5 don't freak out? He's sentient. It's sentient. Any anomaly is an it, not a he. Remember, anomalies are objects, not people. They are its, not he's or she's. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Your site. So it will be held in Site-42. Your site. It could help us. Those omnipotent anomalies are really too much knowledge to handle because they also know all of our secrets. And in effect, that is a large security risk. So allow it to think you're going to recruit it. And then when its back is turned, otherwise known as the Clef. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. I have hollowed out the tree. All I can hope is that when I get back to site, we have something that can regrow its innards so it doesn't die. Hopefully it doesn't die before I get there. I'll have to send a message once I'm done with this message delivery. Kronos, thank you for donating again. I'm curious, how do those mimetic kill thingies actually work? And how can a certain task force agents be trained for them? Why use them at all? Mimetic kill agents, cognitohazards and such, affect the way information is routed in your brain, just like a program can overwrite another program or corrupt a data file. So too can the ones and zeros of the neurons in your brain be corrupted. And if that's the case, well then, your brain's going to be scrambled eggs. Your brain might even look fine on a scan, but all of the data is corrupted. It's not a good thing. Now, we can inoculate to these, much like a virus, much like a vaccine, over time, starting with weaker ones. But there is a limit to this stratagem. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some monkey bread on your way past the commissary. I'm still mad at SCP-343 for stopping me from rescuing you to my pocket dimension the other day during lockdown. Also, when's 999 next at Site 42? Well, 999 just started its rotation to Site 24, so we're going to have to wait for it to return from there at the very least, let alone any other sites that get added to its roster. Now, 343's, there are plenty of reasons to be mad at 343, it being an arrogant jerk, most of all. God. So yes, get in line for thinking SCP-343 is a bit of a dick. Agent Starbricks, thank you for donating again. I wanted to cross-test 173 with the entity from the mirror. It seems like all that would do is either destroy one or the other anomaly. Is that really such a good idea? I don't want the statue destroyed most of all. If there are enough mirror entities that we could get another one, I guess we could see if 173 could take it down, but is that really a necessary use of resources is all I wonder. Back a car, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a granola bar on your way past the commissary. Why doesn't SCP-343 help with the dangerous SCPs? 343 is a dick, but in a more logical answer, it always throws up its hands and says, I cannot do for my children what they cannot do for themselves. I am merely the shepherd of my children. Therefore, I will not do anything useful ever. Yeah, that's about it. 049, thank you for donating again. I hear sirens. We can't have another containment breach on site this quickly. Security, please check that out. A Cool Foxy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a burrito on your way past the commissary. What if SCP-3812 sees SCP-096? Does SCP-3812 just change history so it didn't see 096? Or does 3812 just delete 096? I believe in the way... So here's the thing. 3812 has a certain omnipotence shaded by its cognition and its cognitive issues with its mental health problems. So it's possible that even as an omnipotent, 3812 just doesn't observe 096. Maybe the same way that 682 does, where it senses 682, or 682 senses 096 early enough to delete all of its eyes, that way it can't see 096. So it's wholly possible that 3812 has a built-in defense for that due to its weird, fractured psyche. That said, I do actively believe it would change history to have not seen 096. It could very easily do that as well. Angel Dragon, Das Mankey, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. I'm definitely not a shapeshifter. Well, intern Vader, I would suggest you shift into a shape that fits into a containment box. Did you finally make the tree scream? If I had made the tree scream, I wouldn't be worried about 049 damaging it. Keep up with the conversation. 049, thank you for donating again. I hear sirens and see lights. All right, I guess you're going toward the containment breach. At least can you report on what's going on? Sheeny, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member as well as your first donation. Grab yourself a hot toddy on your way past the commissary. Tell 343 it's not a part of Starfleet. It doesn't have to adhere to the Prime Directive. I mean, at least in one universe, some researchers shot it in the head because it was so sassy about not helping. So, you know. Reese, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab some of your pieces on your way past the commissary. Is SCP-999 a little goober? Well, at 3 meters by 1 meter, I would say it's a fairly large goober. But yes, it's a pretty big goober. Rose Lady, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a chimichanga on your way past the commissary. As always, here for the food. You enjoy that food. Why are most SCP just against humanity for no reason? Intern Guy, it's not that SCPs are against humanity, it's that just like any other animal or entity, they're just self-interested. And usually their self includes eating, and people are fairly large meals. Also, humans are dangerous to them, so they take them out in self-defense. Or because they're sadistic monsters. But, you know, it's not just humans. They usually take out other things too, or maybe they don't. Some anomalies don't hurt humans. It's a wide spectrum of harm we're dealing with. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. The tree screamed because I bait apples near it? You ate apples near it, I'm assuming you mean. And that never worked before. Also, you're a doctor, and the apples didn't keep you away? Now I think you're just trolling me. You say that like humans aren't sadistic monsters. Hey, not all of them. Just some of them. Just some of them. What do we do with SCP-4521 after we make it scream? Intern Agatha, I would gladly return 4521 to its home in the woods. That would be wonderful. I would love that. To put it back nice and safe and sound, if only it screamed first. Then I'd throw it a party. I'd give it some fertilizer. I'd make it real happy if it screamed. Aether is good. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some bread on your way past the commissary. Jesus loves you. Well, SCP-3305 Bread Jesus, that one's pretty friendly to me when I see it in the halls. I wouldn't say love. SCP-029-J Uber Driver Jesus, that one loves me like a bro. We are broskies. Vor Jesus, I don't think is capable of love. That's SCP-5991. Vor Jesus really just shows up and eats you if you eat that Bible without condiments. So I don't think that one's capable of love. And then SCP-6542 Jesus, or Milk Jesus, that one loves you if you drink milk. Which, I mean, I enjoy cheese, so I'm well within the dietary religion of that anomaly. So yes, depending on which Jesus you are speaking of that we have in containment, would dictate what kind of amount of love from 0 to broski to God's love from above, or at least sidely tangent, we are speaking of. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. I hear sirens and see lights. Well, don't look directly at them, otherwise you would be blinded by the light. Donating to promote one of the 4 Jesuses is wild. Senior Researcher Frogman, more importantly, donating to promote one of the Jesuses and then not picking one. That makes it a lot harder to even know which Jesus we're talking about. But the good thing is I'm well familiar with them, so I can go down the list and at least narrow it down. Sherm, it's not going to scream. Are you sure, though? Are you sure? Because you shouldn't get into a battle of who's sure or not with me. My name is literally Sherman. I didn't know if you knew that. So, yes, I think I'm a little more sure than you, man. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. I think I'm in Mexico. Did you just stumble into the Site-42 Commissary's Mexican restaurant? Because if so, can you crab Dr. Gerald a margarita? Because if we get Dr. Gerald a margarita, then Dr. Gerald won't be allowed to drive, and that will save us a lot on the budget tonight. So let's all get Dr. Gerald drunk for the good of the Foundation. Kronos, thank you for donating again. And whoever's name it was that just reminded me to check that because it was a less than $5 donation, I appreciate you as well for warning me. Do you have any interesting SCP-682 stories? You know, I believe the nerfing gun incident was pretty interesting. When we used, I believe it's SCP-3578, the nerfing gun, which is a Nerf gun that makes things worse. So if you shoot a table with it, it will turn into a cheaper table. If you shoot a Super Nintendo with it, it will turn into a Nintendo Entertainment System. If you shoot a Dr. Pepper with it, it will become a Coca-Cola. That kind of thing. So we attempted to nerf SCP-682 because we figured, hey, if we could weaken it, that would be great. It did not, in fact, weaken SCP-682. 682 instead was made worse in that it became more volatile and dangerous, which I did not think was possible and didn't make sense logically, but that's what the gun did, and so that's the interesting day we had. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. Let's just suspend 096 above ground in a 0G vacuum chamber. If you believe that SCP-096 cannot swim through a vacuum somehow with its weird physiology, I mean, there is the time that it moved the entire sun toward us. Not that it moved us toward the sun, that it pulled the sun like a tow truck toward us. If it can swim through space carrying the sun, I'm not too worried about it reaching us from a vacuum chamber. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. I got 12 for Dr. Gerald. But if you give him 1 margarita, and then you give him 2 margarita, what's gonna happen when he gets to 12? That might be too many margaritas. That might make him more likely to try and drive. You gotta lay off the margaritas before we get in some trouble here. Dr. Sherman, I have a question. Why do you keep items as SCPs? Do they have their own power or their own energy? Dr. Ludwig, I'm not quite sure I understand your question. You see, an SCP is a confirmed anomaly that we have cataloged. So SCP-173 is a statue that is clearly anomalous, and so we lock it in a box so that it does not get seen by the general public. We wouldn't contain something that was non-anomalous on purpose. Now, obviously, there are things that are unexplained, and then we figure it out, and whether it's entertainment worthy or not, that's up to the science. But yeah, if you can elaborate a little bit, help me with your question some. Nerfing gun is SCP-3108. Thank you, Researcher Frogman. I appreciate the clarification. The Nerfing gun is a quite fun article. I highly recommend 3108 for your entertainment. I thought by the fourth margarita he'd be on the floor, as in 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. Sheeny, I agree with you in theory, but Dr. Gerald, there's something wrong with that man. Doctor, how much of the population are actually mimic SCPs? Now, this depends on the region you're in. There are some regions where, it's just all normal people because we're doing our job right. But there are certainly some regions where mimic populations have increased, especially due to their predatory nature. As such, it does become hard to make inroads in those communities because they've always got a little eye out for us. Usually somewhere on their abdomen or behind their ear. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. What happens if I use my gender swapper on SCP-096? Shy Guy has enough problems as is with its self-image without adding body dysmorphia on top of that. So please don't. Kronos, thank you for donating again. What would you say is the most absolutely dangerous SCP? And have you ever seen an O5 member? Besides the time you saw the back of one's head, though. I have met with the O5 Council myself multiple times. I am a psych director, after all. Now, it is usually through a computer with a silhouette where I'm hearing a facsimile of their voice. But still, that's a meeting. It counts for work purposes. What is the most dangerous SCP? I would have to say... there's so many that are universe-ending BS or some pataphysical level. The authors on the pataphysical layer above us could just crumple up the paper or delete us from their computers, and we all die. So, are they the most dangerous? At least to us, yeah. So, otherwise I would say the shrimp that is 2.7 light years long, because that thing could just crush us with ease. Frickin' giant shrimp. I think it's 5909, SCP-5909, the giant shrimp. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. I accidentally already did. Well, then use it again and change it back. It's that easy. Anomalous Probability, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some trail mix on your way past the commissary. Reese, thank you for donating again. Can you rent SCP-022 as like an Airbnb? If I wanted to kill anybody who went inside, I guess? This sounds like a terrible plan. What's your goal here? James the chemistry teacher, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a Snickers on your way past the commissary. Can SCP-096 kill me in a two-way mirrored room? If you can see its face, then yes. If you can't see its face, then no. That's all you get. Senior Researcher Frogman, thank you for donating again. Or for the first time, I believe, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some ceviche on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, are you in the 04 Council? I meant 04. Well, we'll have to talk about that after today's mission, won't I? By the way, we are nearing the end of stream, and due to the unpredictability of not knowing who I'm about to encounter, just be aware, if I miss a donation, I'll have to pick it up at the beginning of next stream. I'm not sure exactly when, and I'm not sure exactly who is coming to that door. So it might be a happy time, or I might need to, I don't know. We'll just find out. We'll find out together. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. What if no? Then I'm taking the gender switching stone away from you, and you don't get to use it anymore. That was our deal, is you would behave. And so if you're not behaving, you don't get the privileges. Dimitri, thank you for donating again. I'm the Anomaly, adding myself to the database now. If you can, our database is very secure from outside anomalous intervention, except for when it isn't. Elwin, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some M&Ms on your way past the commissary. Anonymous user, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some Skittles on your way past the commissary. SCP-343 versus 001. Can SCP-343 stop any and or all 001 events? It really depends on the 001, but even more, 343 usually doesn't help. It's a whole hands-off, oh, I'm God, even though I can't do anything, except for when I want to be annoying about it. So at the end of the day, I cannot be certain of that. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. Not my stone, I will bite. We will restrain you. We have the restraints. You either behave yourself or give the stone back. 404, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a jelly donut on your way past the commissary. Felix is going to be given to you soon. I already got Project Eternity set up as well as Project Reset. Thank you for cooperation. Oh, all right, that was quick work. I hope everything turned out well on that end and that everything turned out well on our end as well. Can you pretty please tell us who came, Doc? Please. Intern Silly Boy, I am under strict rules of debt that I can definitely not tell you who is coming beforehand. If I can tell you afterwards, I will gladly, but it depends on the scenario at hand. You do not want to cross the people that we sometimes have to associate with in the anomalous world. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. I bit 035. It's a mask. I don't even know if that had any effect. It's just a mask. Anomalous TV Guy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a cornetto on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, would SCPs like 173 and 023 and maybe 096 and 966 affect me, even though my eyes are cameras which are connected to my brain? So we know that 173 and cameras don't get along very well. We know 096, as soon as you see it through a camera, if the image of its face gets in your brain, you're done. So it doesn't have to do with your eyes, it has to do with your brain. So 096, you're immediately done. 966, probably, because it doesn't really care about eyes, to my knowledge. And that just leaves 023. Yeah, I don't know 966 to care about eyes at all. And then 023. The black shuck, right? So, no, I don't think any of those really care whether you have eyes or not, so I think you're going to be affected either way. Agent Starbricks, thank you for donating again. Another entity came through, so we have more instances of the entity. Well, if we have extra resources, then I guess you can run your peanut test. Let me know how it goes. Make sure to take good documentation. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. I used my stone on 999. SCP-999 doesn't have a gender. It's unaffected by SCP-113, the gender-switching stone. It's right there in the documentation. You are supposed to be a better scientist and doctor about this. Just a normal YouTuber. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Pig Boy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some cobbler on your way past the commissary. Thoughts on SCP-8356? I don't know it by the top of my head. I'll look it up real quick. And remember, people, Desk is taking note of donos now because it is any minute now my associate will be coming and we'll have to see if stream continues or not. I am very unfamiliar with SCP-8356, so unfortunately, I have no thoughts on it. I would have to read this article to figure it out. Sorry about that. Gage Galt, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a quiche on your way past the commissary. New demon this time. Guy with a TV head who says that the radio guy is a biatch and that I should give my soul to him. Thoughts? I put it in a box, we'll test it. And don't give it your soul, obviously. Felix, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member, and welcome back. Grab yourself a eggnog on your way past the commissary. Hi, Dr. Sherman. I learned a lot about how the mainframes and how it works. I also learned how to use the cyberspace between universes. It's a lot to process. Well, yeah, write down your notes. That way we have that for future research, please. SCP-049, thank you for donating again. Oh my, I gave it a gender. That's not how the stone works. That's not how it works. Read the document. You're just saying things now. Crexton, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself an ice cream cone on your way past the commissary. How long will Mr. Deed stare at SCP-173 if asked to? Well, Deed is very good. Mr. Deed is very good, but you would end up eventually blinking. I don't know how long Mr. Deed can, in fact, keep its eyes open. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer to that. But Deeds is not invincible and will get got eventually. Kronos, thank you for donating again. Shit. Okay, guys. All right, this is it. All the other donos, I'll get them later, but this is the moment of truth. All right. Keep your fingers crossed for me here. Keep your fingers crossed for me.
Oh, thank fuck, I went to 5 different rooms.
Oh, no.